Mm. Okay, I'm waiting to get the notification. All right, here we go. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us this afternoon, and a very popular painter, an artist, and we're looking forward to getting some information as well as some inspiration from her. And that is none other than Queen Nzinga. First of all, assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
What's up?
Yes, ma'am. It is an honor that you would take time out of your busy schedule to pull up to the People's Podcast. The first thing that I want to know is, that we want to know is, how long have you been painting?
I've been painting for 4 years now.
Oh. And how'd you get into painting?
Okay, it's a pretty long story. I'll try
Okay.
to keep it brief.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
basically, I worked when I was about 16. Yeah, 16. I worked as a muralist for the city under a program, a local program called Rock Paint Division. And I didn't have any experience professionally painting before then, but they taught you on the job how
Mhm.
to paint colors, mean texture, all those things. And so every year that I was in the program, they made us do a personal piece.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
the personal piece had to be, your own, what you've learned so far, and just do whatever you want. It could be under a theme, it could not. And so I practiced that way. And since, we had teachers who taught us in the program, they were like, okay, well, do it like this. And maybe, you should push your brush to do this, or maybe you should. So they taught us along the way, and I just got better with time. Thanks to
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm very impressed by your paintings, and that's a nice way to flex with the paintings behind you. Are those your paintings?
Yeah, these are all mine.
That's a good way. And okay, yes, ma'am. Well, my next question is, what is how much do your paintings go for?
So it depends, really. I'll say these, even this one right here, go for 500 because these are originals.
Yes, ma'am.
I've not priced the one in the back. I've not priced him yet. He's just been sitting here. Um, but originals typically they'll go for 300, 500, sometimes as low as 250. Just again depending on the sizes and everything, because they're original and they're so big. But they don't have to be that much. I know on my site, I'm sure to talk about it soon, but where I'm selling them now, you can get something as small, as 7 by 10, which is pretty tiny. You can get something for $30, 50. It just depends on the size and everything.
Okay, excellent. And can we make personal requests for paintings?
Soon.
Okay,
So
okay, okay,
I
okay, okay.
recently on my page I recently made an announcement saying that I'm getting it to commission soon. So be on the lookout for that. I will definitely let the information be out once I'm ready. 'Cause I'm fresh out of school. We just ended. I had my last class today. So, just getting back on track, and then eventually, inshallah, yes, commission.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, one of your paintings, how me and you became acquainted via social media,
Mm-hmm.
was an amazing painting that you did for my mother and my siblings and my father. We were very grateful for that. I took a picture with it. Hope it, what I'm saying, I hope it helps you get some more business, by us promoting that. What would a college student, what would drive a college student, all the way in New York to paint a picture of my mom? Like that's pretty, or in a tribute to her. Like, how did that happen?
So before I'm a college student, I'm a Vanguard, and so at the end of the day, said, you give your flowers while they're still here, and especially when they make their transition. So when we got word that Sister Sharifa, may Allah be pleased with her, made her transition, it hurt differently for me just as a Vanguard, because we know about the legacy that she left us. That's why we're here. I have my Vanguard hat because of her sacrifice, and those before her. But she really was and is everything to the vanguard. And so it would be almost wrong if I didn't have a tribute for her. It's the very minimum that I could do, um, compared to what all that she has done for us. So that's really what drive me, inspired me, and motivated me.
Praise be to Allah. And my sister Mimi says, thank you so much. That painting is absolutely beautiful.
Praise the Lord.
Now, where can we get and support your paintings?
So right now I'm building up my own site, yes. But until that's up and running right now, you can get them at artpal.com. That's artpal.com/Queen Nzinga.
Okay, excellent. And I would like, please, to ask you, can you give me the exclusives interviews? Please come back if you are about to unveil something, that's new and it's hot, and you wanted to promote it. Yes,
I
ma'am.
got you, absolutely.
It would be an honor. Now, where does someone, when I think of New York, I think of some of the drive-bys, the rats in the subways, some of the crime that's been taking place in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Where does someone like you come up with art? Like is that a thing? I know that painters came out of New York, like artists, like that was a New York thing. Like what like?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
So okay, so I'm also a history major. So this is good. This is good.
I'm a history major too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you should know something about the Harlem Renaissance.
Absolutely.
And how in the Harlem Renaissance, that's in the boroughs now. I'm not from the boroughs, but in the boroughs in Harlem, there was an explosion of Black creativity and Black art. There was also a Renaissance in Chicago, but since it's New York, yeah, that's explosion of Black arts and Black people creating not just art for art's sake, but creating really a positive image for Black people. So that definitely came from New York. And locally, the art scene is pretty big here. Like I mentioned, I was in program rock paint division, and every year we have a art festival. We have wall therapy, right? So we go around the city and paint random murals. I was part of that, me and my coworkers. So the art scene in New York, it's a staple, really. Graffiti. It doesn't matter if it's graffiti. It doesn't matter if it's murals. It doesn't.
Okay, well, I'm familiar
it doesn't matter.
I'm familiar with the graffiti.
Yeah. So that's absolutely part of the scene, the culture. Whether you're on the island or you're upstate, it's definitely the arts.
Okay, and I know about the Met Museum and stuff. It's just that I don't see a lot of people promoting that. Like, it's just not something I see promoted as far as in our culture as Black people, or even in the nation. Do you have other artists or creatives that you are connecting with around, so we can help, keep everybody, united?
Yeah, a lot of people in the nation. First of all, I've met social media is a blessing, really, because through this quarantine, there's a lot of artists who either DMs me or I DM them, or we check out each other's work. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Artist Salam is one. Sister Honora is another. There's so many young artists too. What's her name? Portrayed by Najee, I believe. There's just a lot of people. Artistic Freedom is another one. I'm saying their Instagram names. I know y'all have real names. I'm sorry for that, but I'm just names on top of my head. But these are all really, really gifted people within the nation, and except Artist Salam probably, but a lot of us don't have like a pretty huge following. So some people might not know, but I try my best. If someone asks me, can you do this for me? Well, I don't do logos, but Sister Anura does logos. I don't do that, but I know Artistic Freedom, she does that. So I try to, make that dollar circulate that way. And, everybody gets something from everybody.
Okay, amazing. And I think that's very important, because I am trying to do the same thing with the actors, the writers, the directors, all of the people who are in my field as well. I'm trying to unite everybody, and it's a trial, but we're working on that. Speaking of it being a trial, do you feel supported in your city, and do you feel supported? Like, are people giving you love, the proper, support that you need?
I believe so. I think that for me personally, I think that the support has been real, particularly within the nation. Now, locally, I've stayed here, but I wasn't always here. I go to school at Bennett College for Women in Greensboro, so I haven't been here that long, except pandemic. But local support even before then was there because I did participate in wall therapy, which is pretty big. So you get respect that way.
Okay.
But besides that, in the nation, absolutely. Majority of the people who buy my stuff are in the nation. Whether even if it's my close circle of friends or is it the broader people, the nation typically is one of, if not the biggest support system, besides of course my media family. Honestly, truly.
Excellent. And speaking of your immediate family, do you ever paint them?
I don't paint them per se. I haven't painted any of my parents, siblings, or anybody, not portraits, but I have been practicing my commissions for them. So I've done a picture of food, like a whole spread. You might have seen it, like a whole spread of food. I'm talking about like naan, you got masala on there, tomato soup, like it was a whole spread, and then also a picture of coffee, which is hanging up in the dining room, and then the food spread is hanging up in the kitchen. And then there's another idea they want me to do. It's a formal table setting that they want to hang up in the dining room. So I have to work on that. So they've been asking for a lot of things. And
Yes.
I'm here just trying to make it make sense, but I have not painted them their likeness yet.
Okay, excellent. Now, can you please clear the word commission for those of us who don't know what that means? Because you keep saying it.
Okay, so commission is basically you get somebody to paint you something. Is essentially what it is. So another word is custom order.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
boom. So we adding that to the repertoire. I'm about to be Josh. So if anybody wants some commission from Josh, I'm just gonna start putting that in. You know, I'm adding that to my, you know, what I'm saying, my vocabulary.
I
Uh,
got you. I got you.
yes, ma'am. And Sister Nakia Muhammad says that's my baby girl. Something that's your mom's.
Yes, my mom.
That's your mom.
I'm
Yes, we do that. Okay. Wonderful. Now, speaking of your parents, one of my favorite segments to do on the People's Podcast is called Growing Up in the Nation, right? And we highlight the different individuals who have grown up. We're growing up in religion, period, because it's all, you know, religions, but specifically in the nation, because where I grew up in. What has been your fondest Savior's Day memory because you grew up in the nation?
Mm, trying to think. So I would say Saviors. I have a fondest Saviors Day memory, and I have a Holy Day memory.
Okay.
So Holy Day with Soviet memory. 2016 Atlanta was probably the best Holy Day with Soviet ever. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I haven't been on Earth too long. But Holy Day 2016 Atlanta was the best Holy Day that we probably ever had in 90 plus years. That's just is what it is. That's facts, that's science, that's Islam, period. But now Savior's Day, it so Savior's Day, it's always bittersweet for me because I'm constantly working. So it's like, okay, the spirit is there, but my feet hurt. So I would have to say probably this past year. I'm trying to think back. Yeah, it's probably this past year, but mainly because this Savior's Day in particular was the last time I saw Suleiman the Hafiz. May Allah be pleased. So this Savior's Day in particular, I was rushing, going back to the hotel room for something. I forget why. And I'm rushing. I walk fast. That's the running joke on my family that, she walks fast. But he stopped me, and all that I was doing, I'm trying to get back and hurry back on post. He stops me, and he says, give me the greetings, asks how I'm doing. He holds my hand, he hugs me, and I'm only 5'3", and he saw, so I'm crushed.
Yes.
But he, and he asked how I'm doing, asked how school was. Even way before I left for school, he gave me his card and his number, said if anything goes down, call me. I've not had to call him, but it's just that love and care that he had, and always has had. And when I was there at Savior's Day, he just embraced me and slowed me down in that moment. So I would say for that reason alone is probably why this past Savior's Day was the best. And it was the last Savior's Day before a pandemic. So it's really probably the best because I have not touched a believer since. So that's probably why this past Savior's Day 2020 was iconic, really.
Praise be to Allah. I agree. Especially dealing with the pandemic, I definitely didn't know it was coming up. Like it just, of course, none of us knew.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed myself in Detroit. Now, what made Atlanta, besides being hosted by an amazing drill team, a few cool kind of ministers down here, what made Atlanta such a happy holiday of atonement for you?
So many things. It was really a lot of young people running the show for me. Um, well, for one, I was only 16 then, but I went practically by myself. My brother at the time he was going to Tuskegee,
Mm,
and
mm,
so I flew down by myself. I had someone with me, I think, but I met up with him and we stayed with family. But it was really like just us, like, okay, yo, we doing this by ourselves for the first time. This is crazy. Because before it's always mom and dad, they got the tickets. Now it's yo, I just bought my own ticket. I'm in the balcony. Where are you?
mm,
So it was
mm.
like that. But I also was not a vanguard yet, which is another thing. So I was very limited in what I could and could not do.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, like my friends going on posts, I'm staying behind, like, okay, it just it's things like that. So we went and everything. They had this park. We was in the park and everybody was like selling things,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then there was a concert. Now, the concert was probably the best concert ever because
Yeah.
um it was the best because first of all, uh it was so impromptu. Like at first it was like this setup and this one goes first, but at a certain point it was just like, okay, it's a party though. A righteous party, but it's a party though. Like we don't need a schedule. So it was just the energy was high and live and lit. And then they said y'all need to get out before the minister gets a bill that we have to pay, and we
Absolutely.
left. Minister not getting a bill under my name at all. Period. But it was fun and it was energetic and it was lit, and that's a spirit that I wanted to keep. Like if I could just bottle that spirit
Yeah,
and
yeah,
preserve it forever, I would. We can't do that now, but it was definitely one for the books. And it was the most beautiful thing I've probably ever experienced.
praise be to Allah. I was blessed to be at the concert and be a part of it.
Yep.
That was an amazing
Yeah.
time as well. It was good hosting y'all, you know what I'm saying? So that was fun. Okay, my next question is, you on your social media, you seem to do a great
Mhm.
job of always having your hair covered, your different hair wraps, and things like
Mhm.
that, right? That's a challenge for some. I would say many, especially when they're at
Yeah.
school. Boom, boom. How are you able to? It's not like a homely look. You don't do it like in a you're forced to do it. It's like, oh, this is my thing, and you're proud of it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to others who may be battling with that when they're away at school or when they're not away at school, just on how to rep, but in a cool way?
Um, I think one of the mistakes that we make as young women in the nation, or just Muslims, period, in general, is that we don't make Islam personal enough. It's not. It's never. I do this because I'm in this because I like it. I think it's dope. I think it's cool. It's always, not always, but oftentimes it's, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And like, if I don't do it, something's wrong is going to happen to me. So I would say, make it a personal choice. Like the concept of covering your hair should be a very personal thing, not for anyone, not because anyone told you to, but because you think it's cool and you feel and honestly believe that it's what Allah would be pleasing to see you in. At school, I helped to organize World Hijab Day on campus for the
Okay,
first time.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm plugging in my charger right quick. But yeah, so I helped to organize that, and I didn't just want it to be me saying, "Hi, this is Islam. This is what we do," but also allow people to ask questions. Because one thing to say we do X, Y, and Z, but if I never address your question, you're always going to have a misconception.
Mm, mm,
So they asked a lot of questions, and a lot of it was centered around what we can and can't do as women in
absolutely.
Islam. A lot of it was, so were you forced to do that, or were you made to do that? Can you drive? It's things like, right. It's it's things like that where it's like, wow. But I also understand that I was the first Muslim woman they ever seen or been introduced to. A
Mm,
lot of the times when people are introduced to Islam, it's with the brothers which is understandable. They're on every corner. They sell the final call. You know what I mean? They're out front first, so that makes more sense. But a lot of times they don't run into Muslim women, and a lot of their info is from the media. What they
Mm,
can and can't do, and if the brother that you know who is Muslim is not really explaining the best way what women can do, then you're really turned off. So I would say really self-analyze why you're in this in the first place, and make it personalized to your style. You know, like wrap your hair in a way, still in accordance, to
mm,
what was taught, but wrap it up and do it in a way that makes you happy and comfortable. Like it's not supposed to be some super strict sanctioned thing to where everyone is the same and like there's no expression or style or beauty attached to it. That's what makes it beautiful when you make it look dope, but you're still obviously a Muslim woman. You know what I mean? But I think Islam is viewed as so cookie cutter and strict and
I agree.
and just very much rigid, and there's no room for creativity. Like, no, if you want to wrap your hair and put some heels with it. You know what I mean? They can be 2 inches, they're gonna be no 6 inches, but still make it look cute, make it fashionable, style it up. It's not supposed to be just straight all black and no, just make it look dope, make it look fly, make it because Islam is so personal. It should be. Islam should be so personal to you that you should be able to match your lifestyle with your actual style. That's really how you know some people take Islam as a religion and not a lifestyle or way of life. So you got to make sure that it's your way of life. And how do you express that? Through your clothing? Well, make it look cute. If you want your lifestyle to be fashionable, make Islam fashionable. Like it's not supposed to be rigid like that. That's what I
excellent.
would say.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm glad that you are doing it in that way because what you're doing with women, a lot of the women who I meet in college and just period who don't understand Islam, I always send them to my sisters. And I'm like, yo, maybe Naeem, I need y'all to talk to these women because they know how to cover their hair but still be fat. And they can get it from
Right.
somebody who they think is cool or, you know what I'm saying, it was, has some kind of style and they can accept that. So I'm glad that you're doing it in that way. Even on the brother's side, me, like if I'm in public, oh, I'm Josh Fresh, bro. He gonna have a hat, he gonna have some clothes, like something so they can be like, oh, that's the FOY? Yeah, when I ain't got a suit and bow tie on, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a challenge, but it's something I'm definitely trying to let people know that we're not always wearing suit and bow ties and we're not always being like, yes, sir, no, sir. We can be, you know what I'm saying? Just make it Islam is like you said, a lifestyle. So I think that's good and you do a good job of doing that. My next question is if you could say what you're projected to do in the future, right? With pandemic, with your career and everything we're going through right now, what do you want to? What does your life look like 5 years from now?
Done with school, thank God. Inshallah, we're gonna pray on that one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
also trying to also do graduate school. So that's like what, 2 years? What's another?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, done with school. Thank
Good.
God. All right, all praises too. So, but I also want to get into history. Definitely historian is on the table. I've thought about different career paths, what to do with it, because historian, you can do anything with that. You either
Yeah,
could be in the museum, you could be in the entertainment industry,
yes.
collecting information so people portray, certain cultures accurately or certain
Absolutely.
events accurately. I feel like that's really, really important, especially when everyone wants to make a video or a movie about the nation and nobody in the nation is on the research. So that could definitely be something that I do. I thought about that. Also, I've delved into the idea of being a civil rights attorney, maybe or maybe not, but I'm leaning more towards history and research and education. Eventually, I've been told I should be a professor, and I'm not against that idea. So that's on the table as well. So I've a million different things, and now I have to choose one.
Praise be to Allah. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I'm a foodie at heart. I'm a foodie at heart. Um, Art is fun for me, but what happens is I'm that type of person where once your passion, once your passion becomes your job or like something you get money for, now it becomes a little more draining than it was fun. So now I have to have that balance. Like, okay, this used to be a cute pastime to help me, cope through the pandemic, but now it's becoming a whole business, and it's like, well, this isn't even fun no more. So now I have to just fall back in love with that. But I was paying it for fun. Now I'm paying it for work. Um, there's that. I'm also a Disney child. I love Star Wars and Marvel and all things Pixar. Look, and like that shouldn't be a taboo thing. There's Muslims out here who love Princess and the Frog. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. We're gonna connect back to the teachings anyways. We're gonna connect Star Wars and the Force to Allah anyways. So that, we're gonna do that anyway. So we're fine. Islam's in everything. Someone is stars. But I love movies. I love music. I love making a good playlist. I can make a really good playlist. I live for that. I make a good playlist. I'm good with transitions. I should have been a DJ. Like forget school. I should have been a D. I could have been a DJ. Like real talk, I could have been a DJ. But we're here. No ratings for that.
Speaking of being a DJ, because you don't acknowledge my hand raising, so let me just say, okay, speaking of being
that's your hand raising? I'm so sorry. I thought you was just bearing witness. Like I thought you didn't want to like say you just you bearing witness. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is, what if you could choose your favorite album of all time, what would it be?
Of all time?
All time. Let's get straight into it. I mean, you're a DJ. You got playlists, so you can pick. Ain't nothing to it.
All time. Ooh, that's hurtful. Because I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm trying to think. That's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think because I'm thinking of the different genres. That's why it's so hard, because I'm thinking of different genres of people. I'm also looking at your wall, so this is very hard. I can't choose. I'll just name. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna name some of my favorites. If that's
okay.
I'm gonna just name some of them. I'm looking at the wall. Is that Queen in the back? I see Queen.
That is absolutely
that's on it. I have to have Beyonce because period. I see Outkast. That's on there. Lil Wayne. That's a classic. Is it my favorite? Maybe not, but it's a classic. Anything that has the letters KRS in it, yes. Yes, KRS. KRS One. We had yes. Y'all sleep on KRS One. I will not totally disrespect.
No. Because your age. I'm like, I wasn't expecting. I'm like, KRS. I'm thinking about saying something. I'm like, okay, KRS. Like, okay.
So here's my issue, right? So parents and people older than us, me, I'm 20, so people older than me, they'll play the same song in the house for like 20 years.
Okay.
And then once they repeat it, say, oh, this is my favorite song. What do you know about that? Like, you trained me on this for 20 years. First of all, my father's a hip hop head. Okay. So I'm very well versed in KRS, Brand Nubian, Eric B. and Rakim. I'm very well versed in all of that. Like, you know what I mean? So yes. Actually, any of those. I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about.
Okay, so when you say KRS One, like when you say KRS One, like the bridges over KRS One, like what type of KRS One are we talk about? Like one dot bang, one dot bang. Hey, that's like what are we talking about?
MCs act like they don't know KRS One.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's so random. KRS. That's the most random. Like every woman that comes on, I pretty much know how to, based off the age, I can guess what they're gonna say. I'm always gonna hear Lauryn Hill. If they're younger, it's gonna be Nicki Minaj or Cardi B. But older, Lauryn Hill.
We love Nicki.
But
we love Nicki in this house.
But KRS, not just that came out. I wasn't ready. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But all of those are valid too. Like I also live for the Pink Print, and I live for Four, and I live for Cardi's not really necessarily my fave. But Nicki and Beyonce, yes. But I mean that's I don't know.
So pick your favorite album and you give me your favorite playlist. I get it.
Yes, absolutely. Cause it does me so wrong. Cause I can't just think of one. The Graduation album by Kanye was actually iconic too.
I mean, it's right here. I don't know if you can see it with the.
That's also iconic. So I was gonna say there's too many to name. So I'm just naming people at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't name everybody. That's unfair to my conscience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you. And you have a lot of comments on Facebook. We want to make sure that people please like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast, and we can bring Queen Nzinga back for when we discuss her next projects. Now, Queen Nzinga, are you familiar with? Because we just started being cool with each other on social media. I have a
Mm,
podcast called Top Five. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
Okay, well, I have a podcast called Top Five where on every Tuesday at 8 p.m., we bring four different panelists, not excluding myself, and we talk about top five movies of all time, albums, music, blah, blah, blah. That seems like something that you should be a part of because I
Yeah,
never
I might
knew.
make people mad.
Yeah,
I might make people mad if I get on there.
yeah, because we do top like it's the year wrap up next Tuesday that we're doing. So it'll be the top five
Okay.
albums of the year or top five songs of the year, stuff like that.
Okay.
That seems like something that you could be well versed in. That's pretty good. You should be a part of that.
Okay. I will.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you. I want to make sure that we all support you on artpal.com/Queen Nzinga. Let's get some of her amazing paintings. Shout out to your parents for just instilling a pride and a love for Islam and creativity and freedom, justice and equality in you. And shout out to everybody who is watching the People's Podcast. I want to thank you for coming on. And once again, I can
Thanks
never
for
thank
having me.
you enough for the amazing painting that you did for my moms, my siblings, and I. It's
Of
in
course.
my father's house. You go up in the main living room. It's right on the mantelpiece.
Oh, so it's too loud.
It's a big deal. My dad. I was like, oh, he's so emotional, but he's a look at this amazing painting. This is great. This is what it's about. Yeah. So thank you very much for that. May Allah continue to bless you in your efforts. And man, thank y'all for watching People's Podcast. All right, assalamu alaikum, man.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.